Have you ever felt invisible in a room full of people who are supposed to love you? At my own sister's wedding, they seated me alone at a table in the corner. Table 17, right next to the kitchen doors. But then a stranger in an expensive suit leaned over and whispered 6 words that would change everything. "Pretend you came with me." I should have said no. I should have walked away. But I didn't. And what happened next revealed secrets that had been hidden for 23 years. Secrets about my family, about that stranger, and about who I really was. This is my story. But before we dive in, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. If you love stories about family secrets, unexpected twists, and moments that change everything, you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. And if you enjoy this one, give it a thumbs up. It really helps me bring you more content like this. Also, drop a comment below and tell me. Have you ever felt like an outsider in your own family? I read every single comment and I love hearing your stories too. Now let's get into it. My name is Maya and I'm 23 years old. My older sister Victoria was getting married to Derek Huntington. Yes, that Huntington family. The ones with the hotel empire and the society page spreads. For 6 months, wedding preparations had consumed our house. My mother spent more time with wedding planners than she did at her own job. My father took out a second mortgage to pay for a venue that cost more than most people's houses. And me. I was asked to do exactly one thing. Show up and smile. You understand why you can't be a bridesmaid, don't you, Maya? Victoria had said, not quite meeting my eyes. Derek's sisters are in the wedding party and his cousins and... well, the photos need to look cohesive. Cohesive. That was the word she used. What she meant was, you don't fit. I'd heard versions of this my whole life. Victoria was the golden child. Blonde, graceful, effortlessly charming. She looked like our mother. She had our father's easy laugh and confident stride. I had dark hair that never quite cooperated, a quiet disposition my family mistook for sullenness, and a habit of saying exactly what I thought, which Victoria called social suicide. We looked nothing alike. People often asked if we were really sisters. Of course they are, my mother would say, but there was always a pause before she answered. A tiny hesitation that felt like a door closing. The morning of the wedding, I got ready alone in my childhood bedroom while hair and makeup teams worked their magic on Victoria down the hall. When I finally put on my dress, a simple navy blue thing I'd bought myself because no one had thought to include me in the bridesmaid dress shopping, I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. Looked nice, maybe even pretty. I took a photo and sent it to my best friend Jade. Her response came immediately. "You look stunning. They're idiots if they don't see it." I smiled, but it faded quickly. At the venue I tried to help, but every time I offered, someone redirected me. "We've got it covered. Maybe just stay out of the way. Why don't you go find your seat?" My seat. I should have known something was wrong when I couldn't find my name on the seating chart with the rest of the family. Checked 3 times. Finally, a harried coordinator with a clipboard looked it up. "Table 17, she said, not looking up. "Where's that?" She pointed vaguely toward the back corner. "Near the kitchen." My stomach dropped. Table 17 was tucked in the far corner of the ballroom, partially hidden behind a decorative column. Every other table had elegant centerpieces with roses and candles. Mine had a small arrangement of carnations, the kind they probably had left over. And I was the only one sitting there. Around me, tables buzzed with conversation and laughter. Families clustered together. Friends took photos. But table 17 had only one place setting. I sat down and tried to look like I didn't care. Like I'd chosen to sit alone. Like this was fine. It wasn't fine. I watched my father walk Victoria down the aisle with tears in his eyes. I watched my mother dab her face with a handkerchief. I watched Derek's enormous family fill the front rows, all of them looking like they'd stepped out of a catalogue. And I sat at table 17 alone, feeling like a stranger at my own sister's wedding. The ceremony was beautiful. Victoria was radiant. When they said their vows, I felt something crack inside my chest. Not heartbreak exactly, but something close. The realization that I would never matter to my family the way Victoria did. I'd always known I was the spare, the one they kept at arm's length. But this made it official. During the reception, I picked at my food and tried to become invisible. It almost worked, until he sat down. I didn't hear him approach. One moment I was alone, and the next, there was a man sliding into the chair beside me. He was tall, probably in his early 40s, with dark hair that was graying at the temples and sharp, intelligent eyes. His suit was expensive, the kind that's custom-made where you can't even see the seams. He looked like he belonged at the head table, not at table 17. "Rough night?" he asked, his voice low and warm. I blinked at him. "Excuse me." He gestured subtly toward the rest of the room. "Bride's family usually sits together. You're over here alone. That's either a choice or a punishment." He'd flooded my face. It's fine. It's not fine." He leaned back in his chair, studying me with unsettling intensity. "I'm going to guess, younger sister never quite fit in and they've made sure you know it." My throat tightened. "You don't know anything about me." "No," he agreed. "But I know that look. I've seen it before." Before I could respond, a couple passed our table, glancing over. The woman's gaze lingered on me with something like pity. The stranger noticed. Without warning, he leaned closer and whispered, "Pretend you came with me." What? The pity looks, the whispers, make them stop. His eyes locked on mine. "Pretend you came with me, and suddenly you're not the sad girl sitting alone. You're mysterious. You're intriguing. You're someone important enough to bring a date who looks like me." It was insane. I should have said no. But something in his voice, in the way he looked at me, not with pity but with understanding, made me pause. "Why would you do that?" "Yes. Because nobody should feel invisible at their own sister's wedding." He extended his hand. "I'm Adrian." I hesitated, then shook it. "Maya. Maya," he repeated like he was testing the name. "Beautiful name. Who are you? I've never seen you before." He paused. "Let's just say I'm a +1 who doesn't usually attend these things." Before I could press further, he stood and offered his hand. "Dance with me." "I don't." "You do. Come on." Against every instinct telling me this was a terrible idea, I took his hand. The moment we stepped onto the dance floor, everything changed. Heads turned. Whispers started. I saw my mother's face go pale, her hand clutching my father's arm. Victoria stopped mid-conversation with Derek's mother, staring. Adrian pulled me into a waltz like he'd done it 1,000 times. He was an incredible dancer, confident, smooth, making me look far more graceful than I actually was. "They're all looking at you now," he murmured near my ear. "How does it feel?" "Terrifying," I admitted. He laughed, a real, genuine laugh. "Good. That means you're alive." We danced through 2 songs. With every turn, I caught glimpses of my family's faces. Confusion. My mother whispered urgently to my father. Victoria looked like she'd seen a ghost. "Who are you?" asked again. "Really?" Adrian's expression shifted, becoming more serious. Someone who knew your family a long time ago. What does that mean? It means, he stopped dancing. Maya, there's something you need to know. Something they've been hiding from you your entire life. My heart hammered. What are you talking about? He glanced over my shoulder and I followed his gaze. My father was striding toward us, his face dark with anger. We need to go, Adrian said urgently. Right now. I can't just leave. Maya. He gripped my arms, forcing me to meet his eyes. Do you trust me? I don't even know you. I know. But in about 30 seconds your father is going to reach us, and he's going to tell you to stay away from me. And then you'll never learn the truth. What truth? My father was 10 feet away. The truth about who you really are, Adrian said. And then he took my hand and pulled me toward the exit. I should have resisted. I should have demanded answers. But something in Adrian's voice, in the desperate urgency of my father's approach, made me run. We burst through the hotel's side exit into a garden. The cool night air hit my face as Adrian led me down a stone path, away from the reception, away from the music and lights and my perfect sister's perfect wedding. Stop! I yanked my hand free. I'm not going another step until you tell me what's happening. Adrian turned, running a hand through his hair. For the first time he looked uncertain. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have grabbed you like that. But Maya, if I'd waited, your father would have shut this down, and you have a right to know. Know what? He took a deep breath. 23 years ago your parents made a choice. A choice that changed everything. My skin went cold. What choice? Maya. Victoria isn't your biological sister. The world tilted. What? You're not their biological daughter. The words hit me like a physical blow. I stumbled backward, and Adrian reached out to steady me, but I jerked away. That's insane. You're lying. Why would you lie about something like that? I'm not lying. His voice was gentle but firm. You're adopted, Maya. They never told you. No. I shook my head violently. No, that's not possible. Someone would have told me. There would be records, papers. There are records. They're sealed. But I have copies. He pulled out his phone, swiped a few times, then handed it to me. On the screen was an old document. A birth certificate. My name Maya Rose, with a different last name. Coleman, not Barrett. Below that, another document. Adoption papers. Dated 23 years ago. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. No, I whispered. This can't be real. I'm sorry, Adrian said quietly. I know this is a lot. Who are you? The question came out as a sob. How do you have these? Why are you telling me this? He was quiet for a long moment, then said, Because I'm your uncle, Maya. Your biological uncle. The garden spun around me. My what? Your mother, your biological mother, was my sister. Her name was Sarah Coleman. His voice cracked. She died 23 years ago, 3 days after you were born. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. No, this is some kind of sick joke. It's not a joke. Adrian's eyes were wet. Sarah was 18. She wasn't ready to be a mother, but she wanted to be. She was so excited when she found out she was pregnant. But the birth. There were complications. She hemorrhaged. The doctors couldn't save her. Tears streamed down my face. Why would my parents? Why would they adopt me and never tell me? Because Sarah asked them to. She knew the Barretts through a mutual friend. They'd been trying for years to have a second child after Victoria. Sarah made them promise that you'd be raised as their own daughter, That you'd have everything she couldn't give you. Stable home. 2 parents. A sister. But they treat me like... I couldn't finish the sentence. Like I don't belong. Like I'm not really family. Adrian's jaw tightened. I know. I've been watching from a distance for years. After Sarah died, the Barretts cut off contact with me completely. They said it was better if you didn't know about your biological family. They promised you'd be loved and cared for. But instead... He gestured back toward the hotel, where Victoria's wedding continued without me. Instead, they made you invisible. I sank onto a stone bench, my legs unable to hold me. Everything made sense now. The differences. Distance. The way Victoria was cherished while I was tolerated. Does Victoria know? Asked hollowly. I don't think so. I think your parents convinced themselves that if they kept the secret tight enough, it would just go away. That you'd never need to know. But I had a right to know. Anger flared through the shock. I had a right to know who I was. Who my mother was. Yes, Adrian agreed. You did. We sat in silence. In the distance, I could hear music from the reception. A slow, romantic song. Victoria and Derek's first dance, probably. Why now? Finally asked. Why tell me tonight? Adrian looked away. Because I couldn't watch anymore. Seeing you alone at that table. Pushed aside on what should have been a family celebration. I've been silent for 23 years because I promised Sarah I wouldn't interfere with your life. But she never would have wanted this for you. She would have been devastated to see how they treat you. Tell me about her. The words came out raw. Tell me about my mother. Adrian's expression softened. Sarah was incredible. Stubborn as hell, brilliant, funny. She had your eyes, that same dark brown like melted chocolate. She was studying to be a teacher. She loved kids, wanted to change the world one classroom at a time. And my father. My biological father. Adrian's face darkened. He wasn't in the picture. Left when Sarah told him she was pregnant. She never spoke about him again. Fresh tears burned my eyes. So I'm alone. My biological mother is dead, my biological father is gone, and the family that raised me. You're not alone, Adrian interrupted firmly. You have me. And you have other family. Cousins, an aunt, people who've wanted to know you for years but were kept away. They know about me. Of course. Sarah's death devastated our family. You were all we had left of her. But the Barretts made it clear. Stay away or they'd make sure we never saw you again. They had legal custody. We had nothing. I looked up at the hotel, at the warm lights spilling from the ballroom windows. Inside, people were celebrating, dancing, living a fairy tale. And here I sat, my entire identity shattered. What do I do now? I whispered. Adrian sat beside me. That's up to you. You can go back in there, pretend this conversation never happened. Continue being the daughter they want you to be. Or you can start asking questions. Demand answers. Find out who you really are. I stood up, smoothing my dress with trembling hands. I need to talk to them. Maya, wait. Adrian rose too. Maybe you should take some time. Process this before. No. My voice was stronger now, fueled by anger and hurt and 23 years of feeling like I wasn't enough. They lied to me my entire life. They made me feel like something was wrong with me. I need answers. Now. He nodded slowly. Then I'll go with you. No. This is something I need to do alone. Maya. Please. I met his eyes. You've given me the truth. Now I need to hear it from them. Adrian looked like he wanted to argue, But instead he pulled a business card from his wallet. My number. Call me when you're ready. Whether that's tonight or a year from now, I'll be here. I took the card and then, before I could lose my nerve, I walked back into the hotel. The reception was in full swing. Victoria and Derek were cutting the cake, surrounded by photographers and cheering guests. Everyone was smiling. Perfect. Happy. I scanned the room and found my parents at their table, talking to Derek's parents. My mother wore her best society smile, the one that never quite reached her eyes. I walked straight up to them. Mom, I need to talk to you. Now. My mother's smile faltered. Maya, honey, this isn't the time. Now, I repeated, my voice hard. My father frowned. Who was that man you were dancing with? Where did you go? Somewhere we could have a private conversation. Something you've apparently never wanted to have with me. My mother's face went pale. She knew. I could see it in her eyes. Excuse us, my father said to Derek's parents, standing quickly. He gripped my elbow. Let's take this outside. They led me out to a private terrace. The moment the door closed, my mother whirled on me. What did he tell you? So you know who he is. Maya, my father started. Is it true? Cut him off. Am I adopted? The silence was deafening. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's face hardened into a mask. How dare he, my father hissed. After all these years, how dare he show up here? Answer the question. My voice cracked. Is true? Yes, my mother whispered, tears streaming down her face. Yes, you're adopted. Even though I'd known, hearing her confirm it felt like being punched. I staggered, grabbing the terrace railing for support. We were going to tell you, my father said, but his voice lacked conviction. When? I demanded. When were you going to tell me? When I was 30, 40. On your deathbed. You don't understand. Then make me understand. Shouted. Make me understand why you lied to me for 23 years. Why you made me feel like I didn't belong, like something was wrong with me, when the truth was that I just wasn't yours. You are ours, my mother sobbed. Maya, you are our daughter. Then why didn't you treat me like one? The words ripped out of me. Why did Victoria get everything while I got nothing? Why was she the golden child while I was pushed aside? My father stepped forward. That's not fair. We provided for you, we raised you. You raised me like an obligation, I shot back. Like you were doing someone a favor. And you were, weren't you? You were doing Sarah a favor. My mother flinched at the name. Don't say her name, my father snapped. Why not? She was my mother. My real mother. And she's dead, and I never got to know her because you erased her. You erased my entire history. We were protecting you, my mother cried. Sarah died because of you, because of the pregnancy, the birth. We thought it would be easier if you never knew. If you never carried that guilt. Her words hit like a slap. You thought I'd feel guilty. I whispered. So instead you made me feel like I wasn't good enough. Like I didn't deserve to be part of this family. That's not what we did, my father insisted. Isn't it? I laughed bitterly. You seated me alone at table 17. At my sister's wedding. Alone. In the corner. Like I was an embarrassment. My mother looked stricken. The seating chart was complicated. Don't. I held up my hand. Don't make excuses. We both know the truth now. Behind us the terrace door opened. Victoria stood there in her wedding dress, her face confused. What's going on? People are asking where you all are. Go back to your wedding, Victoria, I said flatly. This doesn't concern you. Maya. She knows, my mother whispered. Adrian told her everything. Victoria's eyes widened. Adrian. Uncle Adrian is here. The world stopped. Uncle. I repeated slowly. You call him uncle. Victoria's face went red. Maya, I can explain. You knew. The realization crashed over me. You knew I was adopted. You knew about Adrian. You've known this whole time. Maya, please. How long? My voice was deadly quiet. How long have you known? Victoria twisted her hands. Since I was 12. I overheard Mom and Dad talking. They made me promise never to tell you. And you kept that promise. For 11 years. Through every time I felt like I didn't belong, every time they treated you like you mattered and me like I didn't, you knew why. And you said nothing. I wanted to tell you. Victoria's voice rose. But they said it would hurt you, that it was better if you never knew. Better for who? I demanded. Better for you. Better for them. It certainly wasn't better for me. I'm sorry, Victoria whispered. Maya, I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't change anything. I looked at all three of them. My parents, my sister, these people I'd called family my entire life. You all lied to me. You all kept me in the dark. And for what? To avoid an uncomfortable conversation. We did what we thought was best, my father said stiffly. No. You did what was easiest. There's a difference. I pulled off the simple silver bracelet my mother had given me for my 16th birthday, the only piece of family jewelry I'd ever received. Victoria had a box full of heirlooms. I had this single bracelet. I set it on the terrace table. Maya, don't. My mother reached for me. I need time, I said. Time to process this. Time to figure out who I really am. Away from you. You can't just leave, my father said. Watch me. I walked past Victoria, past my parents, back through the reception. People stared, whispered. I didn't care. At table 17, I grabbed my purse. And then I walked out of my sister's wedding without looking back. Adrian was waiting in the hotel lobby, pacing. When he saw me, relief flooded his face. How did it go? About as well as you'd expect. My voice was steady, but I was shaking. Victoria knew. She's known since she was 12. Adrian's jaw clenched. I'm sorry. Don't be. At least now I know the truth. We stood there for a moment, two strangers who were family, in the middle of a hotel lobby while my sister's wedding continued without me. What happens now? Adrian asked. Thought about it. About the family I'd lost and the family I'd never known I had. About Sarah, the mother who died bringing me into this world. About a lifetime of questions finally answered. Now, I said slowly, I want to know everything. About Sarah. About my biological family. About who I really am. Adrian smiled. A real smile, warm and genuine. I can help with that. We have photo albums, home videos, stories. Sarah kept journals. She did. Boxes of them. She wanted you to have them someday. I've been saving them for you. My throat tightened. Can I see them? Of course. Whenever you're ready. I looked back toward the ballroom, where music and laughter spilled out. Victoria's fairy tale wedding. The family that raised me but never truly accepted me. I'm ready now, I said. We walked out of the hotel together into the cool night. Adrian's car was parked nearby, a sleek black sedan that matched his expensive suit. As we drove away from the hotel, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Like I'd been carrying a weight my entire life and had only just realized I could set it down. Where are we going? He asked. My house. It's about 40 minutes away. I have all of Sarah's things there. Everything your parents wouldn't let you have. 40 minutes. That was enough time for more questions. Tell me more about her, I said. About Sarah. What was she like? Adrian's expression softened as he drove. She was 26 when she had you, not 18. That's another lie your parents told you. She was a teacher, like I said. 3rd grade. Her students loved her. She had this way of making every kid feel special, like they mattered. Like you did for me tonight, I said quietly. He glanced at me. Sarah would have done the same thing. She never would have let you sit alone. Over the next 40 minutes, Adrian painted a picture of a woman I'd never known but desperately wished I had. Sarah Coleman, who loved rainstorms and terrible horror movies. Who could bake a perfect apple pie but burned everything else. Who wanted to travel the world but never made it past 3 states. Who died too young, bringing me into the world. When we finally pulled up to Adrian's house, a beautiful Victorian in a quiet neighborhood, I felt like I was coming home for the first time. He unlocked the door and led me to a room on the 2nd floor. It was full of boxes, neatly labeled with dates and contents. This is all Sarah's, he said. I've been saving it for you. For when you were ready. I walked to the nearest box and opened it. Inside were journals with worn covers, photographs, ticket stubs, dried flowers pressed between pages. I picked up a journal at random and opened it. The handwriting was flowing and artistic. October 15th. Today I felt her kick for the first time. It was like butterflies, no, like a promise. Promise that everything will be okay. That I'm not alone. That she's here with me, and together we'll be fine. Tears blurred my vision. She wanted you so much, Adrian said softly. Right up until the end, she talked about all the things she'd teach you. All the places she'd take you. She loved you, Maya. More than anything. I sank into a chair, clutching the journal to my chest, and let myself cry. For the mother I'd never known. For the family that had lied to me. For the girl who'd sat alone at table 17, feeling like she didn't belong anywhere. But also for something else. Hope. Because sitting in this room full of memories with Adrian beside me, I realized something. I did belong. Just not where I'd thought. Belonged here. With Sarah's memory. With Adrian and the family he'd promised I had. With the truth finally after 23 years. Thank you, I whispered. For telling me. For giving me this. Adrian squeezed my shoulder. You deserved the truth. You always did. As I sat there reading Sarah's journals late into the night, learning about the woman who gave me life, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Whole. The family that raised me had tried to erase my past. But they'd failed. Because the truth, once spoken, cannot be unspoken. And I was finally truly home. And that's Maya's story. The stranger at table 17 who changed everything with 6 simple words. Pretend you came with me. Sometimes the truth comes from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the family we're born into isn't the one we belong to. And sometimes being invisible is exactly what we need to finally be seen. If this story resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. I want to hear from you. Have you ever discovered a secret that changed everything? Have you ever felt like you didn't quite fit? Share your story in the comments below. This is a safe space, and I read every single comment. Also, if you want to support the channel and help me create more content, consider becoming a member or checking out my Patreon, links in the description. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, remember, your story matters, your truth matters, and you are never ever invisible. This has been Revenge Hub. Take care and I'll see you in the next one.